were at the con. We were at Pensacon, Pensacola, Florida. What did you think?
Definitely one of the largest cons we've been to. A lot of stuff going on out there.
Well, one of the largest cons we've been to has Dicejunkies.
Well, yeah. I know y'all got y'all Dragon Con vetting, but my first big con. Big event. No, awesome venue as far as like, they had a lot of buildings, man, a big stadium and everything. I mean, I don't know as much. I can't compare because, again, it's my first big con. The other cons were a lot smaller. Honestly, I'll say that I kind of have fallen in love with small cons. I like that kind of almost closer, more intimate interactions you have with everybody. The big con has a lot going on, but it's hard to kind of to get to people.
No.
So, I like the fact there was a lot going on, but at the same time, it was almost too big for me. Man, I'm just a small town guy.
Yeah, I mean, the setup wasn't bad, though. I mean, there was some confusion here and there, but I think they did a good job. As far as a fan, I think it was a really good con. There was a lot of things to see. They had a large variety of guests over multiple shows and genres and stuff, as well as artists and authors. I mean, Jim Butcher was there. Tracy Hickman. Then you had some voice actors as well. I mean, you had the voice of Mario.
And I believe Mr. Barrowman.
Oh, now John Barrowman, that was fun. That was fun.
And of course, some of our old friends from the other conventions. The Green Power Ranger. I'm bad with names, but you gotta know it. Or maybe
Jason Davis Frank.
I was gonna say, you're supposed to know. You're good with names.
David. Yeah. Our editor's over there correcting us. Go ahead and grab a mic, editor, so when you correct us, people can hear you. Come on, just slide it on over. There you go. That's how you do it.
And then the Black Power Ranger.
Walter Jones.
She's good, man. Yeah. We've seen him in most of the other.
Come on, you know how these mics work. You yell at us, speaking to the mic.
Walter Jones.
There you go. Look at that. All right, so our wonderful editors were with us. She was at the con with us, roaming around, taking some good pictures where we can. Now, I mean, that was the one struggle we had with the con was media. With us being media, there was a lot of restrictions that we've never run across in our previous cons. And this is, I think, why Q was talking about the smaller cons is we get a lot more FaceTime. But, I mean, this is what? I think it's Pensacon's fourth year? Fourth or fifth year.
They got started around the same time that the ABC cons got started.
Yeah, so they're still a relatively new con. They're working a lot of things out. I'm hoping they do some so that we can get some better coverage. I would love to see them work a little more with media, but
regulations were a little rough. I mean, I'm speaking with other media. The most common conversation is just people going like, "Anybody get any interviews?" Like it was like the consistent thing that kept popping up. And after that kind of fell through, a lot of media folks just kind of wandering around, going like, okay, well, we don't want to break the rules, but we're really wanting to approach these guys, so.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the incredible options there, like I said, so many, like I don't think I've ever seen. I went through the celebrity area when we were looking for, our editor was pursuing her autographs, and I was just shocked by the sheer number of guests they had. I mean, it was thick. And, I really wish I'd had a little more time to kind of possibly pause in there, but, us, we were on the roll, Dicejunkies.
Oh, yeah, and we checked out the Pensacola nightlife. There was definitely I like the setup of their downtown where everything was a good walking distance. You could park and walk from place to place and stuff like that. So that was nice.
But yeah, they got it set up almost like the Strip. I mean, you can sit up there and walk, like you said, a few laps, and there's so many places around there to stop by.
I mean, I almost wish I had a little more time for Pensacola while I was at the con, because I mean, it seemed like a really happening city. There seemed to be tons of stuff going on outside of just a convention. I mean, that was one of the ups and the downs of the nightlife was where a lot of cons, most of the nightlife is the con. This had so many people, and it wasn't just the con at the nightlife scene because there was all these different events going on just in Pensacola. So
the crowd's kind of mixed. You had your convention crowd and you had your non-convention crowd. And while it wasn't a bad mix, it was still more oil and water than it was like a hurricane, drink. It didn't mix perfectly. But, I mean, we walked around. We kind of saw a few people out there, a couple of con people spread out.
Now, I mean, hanging out at the Grand Hotel and the bar there, that was the place to hang out. Staying around the hotel, I mean, we actually interacted with several of the guests.
Mm-hmm. I had a ball, man.
Promoters and stuff like that.
Got popped in the eye. I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're having a good time, man. And the only thing better than getting popped in the eye is getting popped in the eye by a guy dressed up kind of like a pirate with a rapier. That's when you know that's con nightlife. That's what I went there for.
That's con shenanigans.
If you're curious, there's actual video of it.
Yeah, you can check our Facebook page out where we have some video of Q getting taught a lesson, I would have to say, about his lacking of skills with
fencing. Well, yeah, I mean, look at me. Clearly, I'm a classically trained fencer. No, but it was good. Still, it was fun. Honestly, it got me almost interested in checking out. I've heard about SCA and some other stuff. I'm like, that was kind of fun.
Well, you've heard about SCA for a long time.
Oh yeah, but like that looked way better than some of the fights I've seen. That was not that was just a good violent whap pop somebody in the eye.
Don't talk smack about your friend, man. I mean, he's been in the SCA for how long?
Oh, you're talking about Lord. Let's see.
Well, let's not drop his name.
Well, no, he's pretty good actually. I heard he's pretty good. I mean, some of the folks we saw outside dueling, they look like they had a couple of good fights going. I really think it just depends on the league and how they go at it.
Mm-hmm. A lot of vendors. Now, I was sort of disappointed not to see. I'm more of when I go to these, I like to see a lot of tabletop gaming stuff, and there didn't seem to be a lot of vendors that were in that area. Like I always stop by the Chessex table if I'm at Dragon Con and stuff like that. Check out dice sets. This was definitely more fan anime and comic related vendors than anything else. Handcrafted stuff.
I mean, you're right. I mean, when I went around, I didn't quite see the exact same setup. There were a few authors in the outer area, but most of it was artwork being sold, toys, paraphernalia. I didn't see. I didn't see it, but they were there. I didn't see the Tuskegee Airmen.
Mm-hmm.
Tuskegee Air is our author. I like seeing his comic he's working on. His Mobile Hill. A few people I kind of like those new.
Well, no,
writers.
some of our authors around here we didn't see those.
Yeah.
Now I did see that. Sort of off the subject of Pensacon, but AVC's Birmingham, Alabama will have your Tuskegee Air guys.
Tuskegee Air.
Yeah. So.
Cool. Okay.
But no, I mean Pensacon, like I said, man, I think for fans it was a great con. Had a lot of guests. There was probably somebody there that you knew and liked, with the large variety of guests.
Something for everybody. I mean, that's what you got to decide on. I mean, when you got that larger venue, and I think they had something for everybody to do. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the Grand Hotel was the spot. Like after going around, definitely
in the late night spot,
enjoyed hanging around that area. There had a good time out there,
mm-hmm.
and when it started talking to people, Saturday night seemed a little livelier than Friday. People kind of started talking and really getting around to mixing it up. And I had a good time. Just got to get used to that large venue myself because I don't have the experience that you and our editor have with the larger cons.
Yeah. But, I mean, we saw, like I said, we saw a lot of stuff. Oh, they did have some cool I guess effect items. You know, like
Displays.
like Han Solo and the what's the word? I'm
Carbonite.
Carbonite. There you go. Han Solo and the Carbonite. Of course, our friends AVC were there on the floor. You had some nice cosplay walking around. You had R2D2 and some of the robots from Star Wars droids being driven around the outside lot. And I mean, as any sign of a good con, you had long lines.
Well, of course.
There
Rest of the wild.
There was I got to give it to the Hot Spot barbecue tent outside for some awesome con food.
Yeah, I mean, we went by there more than once. Like, their brisket was on hit. When you got somebody coming back to your booth each day, your barbecue's on hit.
Mm.
Most conventions don't have vendors that sell food. You usually have to get the food at the convention or leave. I really liked that they had actual places set up for real good food.
Right, like actual tasty, barbecue. I was like, okay. When we rolled by, remember, we saw the spot. Like, there's a spot. Like, I'm about to come back here.
Yeah. One of my favorite cosplays was the Deadpool as Bob Ross drawing Deadpool as Bob Ross in front of a picture or painting Deadpool.
It's an infinite picture.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was cool. So
Aries. Note that he does not have a stupid mustache. I specifically was like, oh, good.
Now I do got to give it up.
So
I mean, it was hot in Florida, for February. I think it was in the 80s.
X-Men
and there was some heavy costumes, man. I every time I see this at cons with the thick, full body costumes, I gotta give it to the cosplayers who are willing to put in that kind of I don't know. Commitment. There you go. That kind of commitment to a costume, because I know it's got to be hot. It's got to be so hot. I was sweating my butt off, man.
Just the Dicejunkies swag was killing me. I don't know how, Perfect Cell and some of the other, full body plated outfits were able to do what they did. I'm like, all right, y'all ain't playing.
But yeah, so I was surprised at that. I guess my other favorite thing that was there was the face of Bo, and it was pretty cool. Later on during the con, John Barrowman actually came by the face of Bo and signed it. So.
We don't know who that guy was. Some madman walked in the shot.
So the face of Bo is now signed by John Barrowman, as well as he also signed it Captain Jack Hartness. So that was pretty cool. Now that was like the one panel we really made sure to catch was the John Barrowman, and I think the most enjoyment I got out of that panel was Q did not know or have any expectation of what we were walking into. And the face that the moment that John Barrowman walked out on that stage in his high heels and little TARDIS dress.
I shall simply say that I found out a lot of things about Mr. Barrowman I did not know. At all, and freaking good time actually. I was tickled. I mean, it was an incredible panel, but man, did I show up thinking I wonder if he's going to talk about Doctor Who or Arrow.
He talked about Doctor Who and Arrow
in a way, and I was just like, all right. I mean, I think the most thing that entertained our editor most is when I kind of leaned over and I go, "Is he doing a bit or is this for real?" And she's like, this is for real. Yeah. I was like, Y'all didn't tell me anything. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, that happened more than a few times during the panel, but it was hilarious
Yeah.
though. I mean, I actually was amazed at his range of acting because, like, I mean, just his when I looked at his TV show personas and his normal personality, the man can get into a character and sell it. That, like, I would have never. I didn't honestly even put together until y'all mentioned it that the guy who played Malcolm Merlin was also the captain. You know, like, I was like, oh wow, those are two really different. And then he got on stage and I went like, three really different. Those are three really different faces. All right.
Yeah, so I mean that was it was a good panel though. We actually got some bits of that we recorded that we'll put out on the YouTube throughout the week. So stay tuned for those if you're interested in the John Barrowman panel. I mean, if you have a funny bone, it doesn't matter if you like know who John Barrowman is or not. They're funny. You should definitely watch those clips as we put them out.
Absolutely, man. I wasn't a fan when I went in, and I enjoyed myself so much that I was like, all right, I got to probably keep an eye out, you know, because this was actually really good. So when you take somebody who, because I'm not a big Doctor Who guy,
Yeah,
and I only really liked the first season and maybe half of the second season of Arrow. So, you know.
so I mean, how would you rate the con? A go to, don't go to, or eh?
Definitely a go-to. I mean, I'm planning, barring given a good reason, to go to the next con. No, I'm hoping a few things are different, but for the most
Yeah.
part, I'm looking forward to the next con.
Well, we got a little insider information, and I don't know if we can talk about.
Well, let's just say
is
the guest list
definitely-
may be really good next year.
Yeah,
That's all
so
we're
we're definitely looking forward to next year. So,
hmm
I definitely say as a fan, it is a must. Depending on obviously what the guests are. I mean, they have the list. I think there was there was what they had several guests per page on their website, and there was like 18 pages of guests. So I mean, they pack that stadium with stuff to do and see, and I say it was well worth it. They had a board game tabletop area. They had digital gaming area as well. So I mean, there's definitely plenty to do, and there's plenty of places to get a brew and chill after the con. So I definitely liked it. I said it's definitely an experience to go and check it out. Editor, what do you think? Well, how did you like it? You probably have more con experience than the two of us put together. So,
well, mostly from just working conventions, but as far as going and just having fun, I would say it's a great starter con if you want to go to the bigger cons.
mm-hmm.
It's a good practice for you to, get out and walk around and get acquainted with the long lines and all that other stuff.
Yeah, that is actually a good way to put it. If you're thinking about going to Dragon Con, but you're not sure, or one of the other, Comic Con or, Las Vegas Comic Convention, something like that, one of the bigger ones, this is a good place to start to sort of fill it out to see if you're willing to go through the extra headaches and
the hundreds of thousands of steps you will take.
Yeah, the so many steps.
The walking.
So much walking. But hey, they did actually last note here on the con, they did provide a lot of ways to transport between areas. They had golf carts going around. They had the trolley system, and all this was free that you could use to get from place to place. So I do got to give them props on that, and making sure that if you weren't able to take the trek on foot, there were ways to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I hope to go again next year. It was worth my time. And I like I said, I just hope they to see them continue to improve it. With only a 4 or 5 year old con, they've come a huge way for starting out.